One forgotten email nearly ended a performance review before it began.
Okay, so I technically caused this, but honestly, her review went fine so.
I smiled at my manager for 25 minutes, not knowing he had an aeroplane emoji from me.
Inspired by the kind of story you'd find on Reddit, studies show that nearly 60% of office workers have accidentally sent a message to exactly the wrong person at exactly the wrong moment. Today's story makes all of those people feel considerably better about themselves.
60%. Like that is most of the office. That is the majority. That means statistically right now, someone somewhere is watching their career dissolve in real time because of an email.
And that someone on this particular Tuesday in September was me. Sat in a glass-walled meeting room with my line manager, about to have my annual performance review, dead nervous, absolutely nout going right.
Let us set the scene properly. Sophie works in the marketing department of a mid-sized logistics company in Newcastle. It is a Tuesday morning. She has been preparing for this performance review for 2 weeks, color-coded notes, a printed summary of her achievements. She has even rehearsed her answers in the mirror. Unfortunately, she has also just returned from a week-long holiday in Portugal, and she forgot one very small but catastrophic detail.
She forgot to turn off her out-of-office reply. And honestly, look, I set that thing up for her before she left because she was panicking at the airport. Like she was about to miss her departing flight. That's the flight that takes you away from your home city, and she goes, "Jake, can you just sort my emails?" And I go, "Yeah, sure, absolutely, no worries."
He sorted them dead enthusiastically, I'll give him that.
I wrote her a very fun out-of-office message. Very on-brand, very holiday appropriate. I thought it was charming.
It said, and I am reading this from memory because it is burned into my brain forever, it said, "Cheers for your email. I'm currently on a connecting flight somewhere over Europe, probably eating a tiny sad sandwich. I'll be back when I've had enough sun. Ciao," with a little aeroplane emoji.
For learners who may not know, a connecting flight is when your journey involves stopping at one airport before continuing to your final destination. So you take 2 or more planes instead of 1. Jake used this detail to paint a very vivid picture, perhaps too vivid for a professional setting.
It was vivid, it had personality. I stand by the tiny sad sandwich line, honestly, that's just good writing.
Jake, my manager, sent me an email at 9:02 in the morning from across the table on his laptop in the meeting room to formally begin the review as is company policy. And at 9:02 and about 4 seconds he received, "Ciao, aeroplane emoji."
The manager, a very composed man named, well, let us call him the manager, looked up from his screen. He looked at Sophie. He looked back at his screen. He looked at Sophie again. Sophie, at this point, had no idea what had just happened. She smiled. She was still in good employee mode.
I thought he was just like loading a document or summit. I smiled at him like a complete muppet. Big, confident smile, ready for my review, totally unaware.
Meanwhile, I'm at my desk like 2 floors up, and I get this notification that her out-of-office fired, and I go cold. I go completely, instantly cold. Because I suddenly remembered. I never turned it off. I never turned it off.
Jake immediately sent Sophie a message on the internal chat system. The message read, and I quote, "Don't check your email. Actually do check your email. Oh no, so sorry, so sorry."
I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. I had it on silent, proper professional, but I could feel it going. Buzz, 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 and I thought I'll check it after, because I'm in my review, because I'm a professional.
She didn't check it. She sat there in blissful ignorance while the situation got worse because, okay, so here's where it escalates. Her manager then forwarded the out-of-office to the department head. As a joke, he thought it was funny.
Which meant the department head, my manager's manager, also had the aeroplane emoji in her inbox at 9 in the morning on the day of my review. Proper, mortifying.
The review proceeded. Sophie remained cheerfully unaware that half the senior leadership team was now acquainted with her tiny sad sandwich. Her manager, to his credit, was professional. He began discussing her achievements, her targets, her trajectory. At one point, he mentioned that she had shown excellent communication skills. He said this with, according to Sophie, a very particular look on his face.
At the time I thought it was a compliment. I went, "Thank you, I really do think clear communication is so important in this role." And he just nodded, very slowly, and wrote something down.
He was writing down "Ciao, aeroplane emoji. I guarantee it. That's what he wrote.
25 minutes into the review, Sophie's manager paused, folded his hands, and asked, "And I want you to listen to this question very carefully," he asked. "Are you fully back from your holiday? Mentally, I mean, fully present."
And I said, "Yes, absolutely, I'm here 100% fully back. No jet lag, that's when your body clock is confused because you've crossed time zones. Though to be fair, Portugal's only 1 hour behind, so I had nought to complain about on that front." I said all of that, very professionally, very earnestly.
And he goes, "Wait, tell them what he said next, because this is the bit that got me."
He goes, "Good, good. I only ask because your email this morning suggested you might still be in transit." And I went completely blank. Transit, like on the way somewhere between two places mid-journey. I went, "I'm sorry."
And that is the moment Sophie checked her phone. She read Jake's messages. She read them in order. "Don't check your email. Actually, do check your email. Oh no, so sorry, so sorry." She then opened her email. She read the out-of-office message, the one with the airplane emoji, the one her manager had already received, the one that was now with the department head. Sophie described what happened next as, quote, "a full out-of-body experience."
My face went, I could feel it happening. It went from normal to absolutely scarlet in about half a second. Like a cartoon, like someone had pressed a button. I said, "I am so sorry, my colleague set that up before I left and I completely forgot to. I'm not on a connecting flight. I'm here, I'm in this chair. I've been in this chair for 25 minutes.
To be fair to him, he laughed, like he genuinely found it funny. He'd already shared it. The whole department basically had it by this point. It had done a full lap of the office and come back around.
The department head, Sophie's manager's manager, stopped Sophie in the corridor after the review. Sophie, braced for the worst, prepared a full itinerary of apologies in her head. An itinerary, by the way, is a detailed plan of a journey where you go, when, and in what order. Sophie's itinerary of apologies was extensive.
I had so many apologies lined up. I had a whole layover's worth of apologies. A layover being when you stop at an airport between flights and have to wait. I had all of them ready to go.
And what did she say? Tell them what the department head actually said.
She stopped me, she looked me dead in the eye and she said, "I've been here 12 years and that is the best out of office I have ever received. Well done." And she walked off, just like that.
Sophie received a 4 out of 5 rating on her review. Her manager noted, under the communications section, that she had, and I quote from the actual review document, "a distinctive personal voice." He was not wrong.
Distinctive personal voice. Honestly, that's a compliment. That's me. I wrote that. My distinctive personal voice got her a 4 out of 5.
You're not getting any credit for this, Jake. Not a single crumb, not one.
The aeroplane emoji carried her review. I should be on her performance review. I should get a rating.
I'd give you a 1 out of 5, and a strongly worded note about boundaries and email access.
Now, before we let Jake take any more unearned credit, let us just run through the travel vocabulary that carried this entire disaster from departure to, well, a surprisingly soft landing. A soft landing, incidentally, is when a plane touches down smoothly, but people also use it to mean a situation that ends better than expected. This story was, in every sense, a soft landing.
We had departing flight, the flight that takes you away from where you started. We had connecting flight, when you stop and change planes on the way to your destination. Both of those were in the out of office that started all of this. You're welcome, English learners.
We had jet lag, that awful feeling when your body thinks it's a different time because you've traveled across time zones. Not relevant to Portugal, as I mentioned, but relevant to my mental state during that review. I'll tell you that.
We had in transit, when you are between two places mid-journey, not quite arrived. Sophie was very much not in transit. She was firmly in a meeting room. We had layover, the waiting time at an airport between one flight and the next. And we had itinerary, your full travel plan, the schedule of where you're going and when. And of course, the soft landing, when something ends more gently than you feared.
Also, round trip, because this story went on a full round trip. Started with me setting up the out of office, went all the way around the entire department, and came back to Sophie in that corridor. A round trip is when you travel to a place and then return back to where you started. Full circle.
That is the most poetic thing you've ever said, Jake, and I resent it deeply.
One final travel phrase, peak season. Peak season is the busiest, most popular time to travel somewhere. For the office out-of-office email, the peak season was, apparently, Sophie's performance review, the worst possible moment, the most highly trafficked inbox, perfect timing.
Peak season, the email launched at peak season. I'm genuinely proud of the timing and hindsight. That's just good comedy. You can't plan that.
You absolutely could have planned to turn it off, Jake. That was the one thing, turn it off, one button.
I was stressed. You were about to miss your departing flight and I was helping. I was being a good colleague.
A good colleague turns the thing off when you get back. That's the whole second half of the job. You did half a job.
And that is where we leave today's story. Sophie survived her review, Jake survived Sophie. The aeroplane emoji lives on, somewhere in the sent folders of 3 senior members of staff. And somewhere over an airport, on a connecting flight, there is probably a tiny sad sandwich that started it all.
If this made you laugh or cringe so hard you had to pause it, drop us a like. It genuinely helps us out more than you'd think.
And follow us so you never miss a story like this one. Honestly, they just keep getting worse, and I mean that as a dead good thing.
Subscribe to English Through Stories, new episodes every single day, each one a small, complete disaster.
See you on the next one. Drop us a like.
Hit follow and never miss a story.
Subscribe to English Through Stories. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. See you on the next episode.